Hey everyone, it is High here bringing another video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. In this video, yes, we're going to be talking about top grossing rewards on global once again, but don't worry, in a totally different way, because I know there's a lot of vitriol out there, there's a lot of strong opinions. You guys know mine, I know your guys' opinions, so this is going to be more of a linear discussion, a historic overview. That's what's transpired over the years on the global version of the game, and hopefully it will provide you guys some more clarity and understanding of how this top grossing reward system works on global, because it can be quite confusing. In reality, I think Bandai and Akatsuki are confused too, because there is a standing rule to the top grossing, and then of recently they've been breaking that rule, causing a lot of confusion. So with that, if you are new to my channel, like, subscribe, comment below, do all that good stuff. Still trying to reach that 50,000 subs, so if you can subscribe and share, that would be most beneficial. And always a shout out to DBZ Space and the Dokkan Wiki for info and images provided. A bigger shout out to DBZ Space, since we're going to be using their website here, so Renzi always doing a great job there. So anyway, let's go ahead and rock and roll on this video here. So like I said, it's going to be a historic view. I'm just going to go kind of beat by beat and discuss what has happened over the years. So starting all the way from 7/9/2016, first year anniversary campaign here. A lot of countries ended up getting first time hitting the App Store for top grossing #1. And we ended up started getting 7 Dragon Stones. This is kind of where the whole 7 Dragon Stones per country rule kind of started. The rule wasn't stated, it wasn't announced yet, but this was the beginnings of it and how it all worked. So these were the countries that hit the App Store for the first time. Belgium, France, you'll see France, of course, multiple amount of times. France is the MVP of the global top grossing here. Hong Kong, Japan, yes, Japan played global for a little bit. Hit it for that one time, and you never saw them again. So Malaysia, Netherlands, Portugal. So we ended up getting 7 countries, 49 Dragon Stones, and this was kind of the beginning of this whole top grossing system. So then you didn't see top grossing again until December 2016, and yes, this is during Christmas. So I think a lot of people, their criticisms and complaints are, in Christmas we should be getting hype stuff. Imagine this, go back in time here. Ireland hit top grossing for the first time on the App Store, and we got 5 Dragon Stones. That was it. That was what we got for Christmas. And so yeah, so talk about precedence and history here. 5 Dragon Stones would cause immense uproar today, right? So so the next thing, fast forward to 2017. In April here, I think this was the celebration when Vegito Blue, Physical Vegito Blue, and AGL Rose came out. So this was the first time US got involved. So the United States and Switzerland for the first time hit top grossing on the App Store, and this actually ended up giving us 14 Dragon Stones. And in a different announcement, they actually talked about, okay, here's how we're going to provide rewards, or actually not here. It's actually the next one here. So this was on the 18th. On the next one here, right here, this was first place achieved on both stores. So yes, this is when they did the announcement saying, okay, we're going to provide 7 Dragon Stones per country, down here, per country that hits the first place on Google Play, right down here, first place on App Store and Google Play simultaneously. So this was the key word here, and this is the current standing rule as of today. They've changed it a little bit, but this is still the only stated rule. This is on a different announcement here, but this is where they provided it the first time they gave us these rewards here, is first place on the App Store and Google Play simultaneously. You will get 7 Dragon Stones per country. In this case scenario, there was 5 countries: Belgium, France, Hong Kong, Switzerland, and United States. Then there was the first time hitting, so we ended up having first place, first time, and then 5 regions simultaneously. So then it was right here. Oh, first place on the Google Play for the first time. So this was, that was App Store. This was Google Play for the first time. So Belgium, France, Hong Kong, Switzerland, and the United States all hit Google Play for the first time. So that's where we end up getting extra rewards. And then we ended up getting a few more Dragon Stones, or actually 1 more Dragon Stones, because Luxembourg hit on the Google Play for the first time. All right, so this was the beginning of the standing rule that still sits today. If a country hits top grossing on a store, you get 7 Dragon Stones, and if you hit both simultaneously, the keyword simultaneously, and App Store and Google Play, 7 Dragon Stones per country. Now, So now let's go ahead and just continue on with basically what happens. Oh, and it was for per campaign. They actually stated that it was per campaign. So you'll see in a bit they quote unquote shafted us because they only gave us Dragonstones for one portion. But once again, this is precedent. This is back 2017. So first place achieved on both stores once again. This was on the anniversary, of course, the second year anniversary. And let's go down here below. So we ended up getting 112 Dragonstones because it was 8 regions simultaneously. First place, 8 regions simultaneously. And that was Google Play and App Store for the first time. Was these countries here: Austria, Canada, England, Germany, Spain. Google Play was England and Netherlands, and then 7 or 8 regions for the first place on App and Google Play simultaneously. We ended up getting 56 Dragonstones, United States being a part of that. So 112 on this. So we qualify for all this first place rewards, both stores simultaneously, and first time. All right, so that is the second year anniversary. So let's go ahead and move on to, oh, I put the legendary campaign on here. Don't worry about this. This doesn't involve. But anyway, yeah, legendary campaign started back here in 2017. So, and still not all of them are been LRs yet. Anyway, so again, the next month we ended up getting first place on both stores once again here. And this was 6 regions, 42 Dragonstones: Belgium, Canada, France, Luxembourg, Switzerland. So this was a different campaign. This was after the second year anniversary. So we ended up getting 49 Dragonstones. So this coming up here is the first time we see hitting the App Store, Google Play Store, and we ended up getting 21 Dragonstones here for France, Belgium, and Hong Kong. US is not included on this, right? US is not included on this, and I think that's one of the reasons why they ended up not giving us double rewards, because we ended up getting this rewards here, and then an additional, or double Dragonstone rewards, that is, and then 20 days, or what is that, 23 days later, we ended up getting top grossing again, but only getting orbs. We did not get Dragonstones. And guess when this was? During Christmas. So kind of nothing has changed, right? So history tends to repeat itself. But yeah, we only got orbs and not additional Dragonstones, even though Belgium, France, Luxembourg, and Switzerland attained first place on the App Store once again. So anyway, so that was in 2017. So then let's go ahead and move on to New Year's. So New Year's, same thing, right? We ended up getting these Dragonstones here, but we ended up getting Lithuania for the first time, 7 Dragonstones, and then France, the only country, and this is going to be common from here on out, in 2018, hitting, Google Play and Apple, giving us 7 Dragonstones there. Always that MVP. So that was beginning of 2018. Then you have in March, excuse me. In March here, we ended up getting a Extreme Z battle launch. This was at the beginning of Extreme Z Awakening, and it didn't say what country. So I'm guessing, since we got 35 Dragonstones, it was 5 countries that simultaneously hit top grossing. So that would make sense. Then fast forward to April. So April, we ended up getting top grossing again, first place achieved. And this was Germany and Hong Kong. So we ended up getting 14 Dragonstones here. So, this was the update. So actually, because this was, I believe, Tech Vegito Blue and Strength Rose, and a lot of people summoned for that. So this was the update. So before that, on the 22nd, this was first place on the Google Play App Store for Austria, Belgium, France, Italy, Luxembourg, and the United States. So they ended up giving us a bunch of orbs and those Dragonstones, and then we ended up getting 14 additional Dragonstones for Germany and Hong Kong a few days later. So it wasn't simultaneously on this one. This was just simultaneously on these 2 countries, and then simultaneously on these countries right here. So that's kind of where some confusion and inconsistencies, and the cracks of how top grossing actually works, right? So go ahead and fast forward into May. So May 2018, this was the Dokkan Awakening for UI Goku. Remember that? And this was attained for 2 countries here. Which countries? Belgium and France. France once again, 14 Dragonstones, and then Hungary for the first time hit Google Play Store. So I'm getting up 7 Dragonstones here. So that was that top grossing. Then another, so this was a part of the celebration here. So 523 and then 527. So during the same celebration, two other countries hit. This was France and Hong Kong, but did not give out stones, just orbs. Just orbs, because it was part of that same campaign. And so this is the second time they end up actually doing this within one campaign. So then you move on into the 3-year anniversary. The 3-year anniversary here, where we actually end up getting 10 regions hitting Google Play and Apple Store. Now, it doesn't say simultaneously, so I think they kind of changed that, possibly. Once again, it's not clear on that, but the rule still stands for first place on both stores, right? So 10 countries here. So 10 countries being Belgium, France, Hong Kong, Italy, Luxembourg, Macau, Netherlands, Portugal, Spain, and Switzerland. So that ended up actually being 70 Dragon Stones. But then the update actually ended up being a few more countries hit top grossing. That was Canada, Germany, and United States. So we ended up getting 21 Dragon Stones because of that. And then Philippines hitting it for the first time was 28 Dragon Stones, right? So this was pretty good right here. Then you have fast forward to September. This was, I believe, the $200 million celebration, right? This was a lot of change. This was pretty different here. This is the first time we end up getting additional bonus. We end up getting a bonus for 7 regions worldwide, 50 Dragon Stones, right? So 50 Dragon Stones, we're giving 50 Dragon Stones to all players here. I believe this was for JP and for global version of the game. I think so. Or was that in the $300 million celebration? I forget, but this was a strange benefit because they didn't say which countries hit it. Was it both stores? It was just his first place in stores, right? So this is the first time this happened. So this didn't follow the rules. This was just a thank you. This was just given to the players, right? So this was back in September. Then they actually ended up giving top grossing, and it was actually for France, Luxembourg, Switzerland, and the United States. And this was back for the seven stone rule, right? First place in App Store for Google Play at the same time. So this, again, simultaneously, this kind of still involved, but you saw some other rewards that wasn't simultaneously. So this was 28 Dragon Stones here. And then this is part of the same campaign here for the $250 million celebration here, was 7 worldwide regions again and another 50 Dragon Stones. So once again, we only saw this in the beginning of September, and then we saw it again at the middle of September here. So there was a lot of free Dragon Stones during these celebrations. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on all the way fast forward to November 2018. This here was the first time that the 7 stone rule, they didn't limit to that. All right, so there's only 2 countries that hit Google Play and the App Store in 2 regions worldwide, and we end up getting 30 Dragon Stones, not 14, 30. All right, so this was that first time where you're like, wait a minute, the 7 stone rule, they didn't follow. They actually gave us more, right? So a lot of people are happy about this. Like, they gave us more. We were only supposed to get 14. We ended up getting 30 Dragon Stones. So this was something that they're, was probably playing around with, but they never made a true announcement that they're going to keep this going on, right? So 7 Dragon Stone rule applied here, and then they started doing this 30 Dragon Stones, even though we did not hit, like 30 Dragon Stones would be like 4 countries, right? So only 2 countries hit, and that was France on actually Google Play and in 2 regions. So France actually hit both stores, and then Luxembourg just hit it themselves. So this was very strange. This was a really nice benefit for Super Saiyan 4 Full Power Goku, because we really didn't qualify for that many Dragon Stones. We only end up getting 30. A lot of people were happy about that. So, but it created a precedence in 2019 that I don't know if they wanted to start doing. So this was the colorful Christmas campaign here, where of course this was global first hit. And yeah, we did not hit top grossing at all on this. Wasn't any rewards, no top grossing, things of that nature. So once again, Christmas, I don't know where people got Christmas as a lot of Dragon Stones or free Dragon Stones, but history shows that we didn't get much on this. We ended up getting this banner, and unfortunately not too many people started it. But I think this was the start for that 30 stone discount though, because I remember pulling it on that 30 stone discount, which was amazing. So Now fast forward to New Year. So yeah, no top grossing during Christmas of last year. 2019, here we go. 2019, again, 20 plus 19 here. And good old France, once again, good old France, hitting top grossing on both Google Play and Apple Store. So 2 years in a row for New Year's and getting that extra 7 Dragon Stones there. So we end up actually getting 46 Dragon Stones instead of, actually, that doesn't make sense. So 7 stones there. Why do we get 46 Dragon Stones? So 2019. Oh, yeah. Never mind. I added that wrong. So yeah, 46 in total there. So that's the first place. So here's where it gets kind of goofy here. We ended up actually, a few countries ended up getting top grossing here, but we did not get any rewards. I believe it was France and then another country very similar to, let's kind of go back here to right here. So very similar. I was thinking it was like France and another small country, but no top grossing for the Majin Buu. All right. Because the 7 stone rule applied, but they said, you know what, we're not going to give out 30 Dragon Stones because it's only these small countries, and probably they didn't even hit their quotas on revenues for this banner, because this banner was awful and no one liked this unit. So so that was the first time that a banner, in a sense, hit some top grossing numbers, but not getting any Dragon Stones because the 7 stone rule applied, and they haven't really implemented the 30 stone gifting quite yet. So they're kind of playing around with that at this point in time. This is where a lot of confusion started settling in, right? Here's where a lot of things actually ended up changing, all right? And the one word changed here. And this is kind of very Kalen Khalifa-ish. So this is the Gogeta Blue and the Full Power Broly, the movie campaign. This was in February. And right here, Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle achieved first place on Google Play. And there's a word here, just like Kalen Khalifa. Or, first time we were ever seen in any announcement that we had an or on here versus an and this was 14 regions. So actually they ended up giving us 100 Dragon Stones because they're like, wow, there's so many regions. And I believe the United States was a part of it. So since it says including the United States and France, so because France is France and it hit so many, and because it was part of the United States, they ended up giving us a bunch of rewards because I think, you know, even though it wasn't the and here, we hit all these different regions. So this was where the confusion sets in. The 7 stone rule still applies, but they said, you know what, we're just going to gift 100 Dragon Stones from here on out. No announcement on changes of rules, right? This is just something in addition to the 7 stone rule that we started getting. And we actually started getting this pretty common starting in March. So March was the same thing. So we actually ended up getting 37 Dragon Stones here. So it was top grossing, and the only store that hit and, right? This is, now we're going back to and here. And the same time, 37 Dragon Stones, but they ended up just giving us 30 Dragon Stones because other countries hit top grossing. Excuse me, I can't get rid of this cough here. So this was, once again, getting more confusing here. The next time that this happened was here. Once again, this was France again, the only one that hit Google Play and Apple, right? And Apple, and we ended up getting 30 Dragon Stones, right? So that was it. Once again, other countries hit it, or, right? So Google Play or the App Store, but France was the only one, once again. Then you have, in May, Go Bros came out. A few countries hit this. So only one country hit both app stores, and then you had Germany and Hong Kong, Macau hit on the App Store, and then Google Play, France hit both, and then we ended up just getting 30, right? So no difference. It was just France hitting it again, and then they actually said what other countries hit, on other stores. So this is the first time they actually showed that, right? So still a lot of confusion because it was 30 stones, 30 stones, 30 stones as a additional, not a standing rule, because I don't know, they just wanted to gain more support and a little gratitude in your support right here, right? So that continues on. So that was back in May. So then you have LR Broly. So this was both, global first, right? Global first, Go Bros, global first, Broly here. And guess what? Once again, Viva la France, hitting it for the first time again. No other country hit it, and we got another 30 stones, right? So it's like, just thank you, France players, and whoever is playing in France. You guys definitely deserve these 30 Dragonstones over and over and over again, right? So, but they didn't express the other countries, all right? So this is the and rule still applies. It was just that one time they put that or on there. So now let's move on to the 4-year anniversary. So this one right here was 10 regions once again, and that whole or rule came by again. So there's or again in 10 regions, so they end up saying, hey, here's 100 Dragonstones. But once again, a very important country is in here because of the amount of money that it would provide overall for the global side of the game. The United States was a part of it, just like it was in the previous 100 Stone in the movie campaign, right? So movie campaign, US was a part of it, 100 Dragonstones for this campaign right here. So, and that was 10 regions. Then later on, we end up getting another 30 Dragonstones because France and Luxembourg. So once again, this is 2 regions. So this is where I think a lot of people are expecting 30 Dragonstones just because France hit top grossing and a couple other regions. But it is not a standing rule. At no point in time this has been a standing rule. It's just been happening in the last, I guess, 9 months, and the 7-stone rule still applies. And going back here in the Super Dragon Ball Heroes, a lot of people say, oh, did we get top grossing here? We did. Right here, it was this one here. But we ended up getting 50 Dragonstones because we ended up getting 7 regions, right? 7 regions, including the United States was a part of this. It doesn't say United States, but 7 regions worldwide. So this was that 50 Dragonstones. So 50, 30 people just getting confused all over this. And we move on to first place in the $300 million celebration. Yes, United States was included here. This ended up getting only 50 Dragonstones, not 100, but only 6 regions worldwide ended up reaching this. So, so this was the App Store, and this was Google Play Store. So, once again, they're not. This was the orb scenario or scenario, right? Yeah, or Google Play and or. So they added that on there, and then France and Hong Kong, they just say, hey, here's another 30 Dragonstones here for achieving first place. And this was, once again, Google Play or Apple Store. So now it's getting a little bit more interesting here on what their rules are they're going to set here. And then another, and this is the first discussion of, hey, where's our top grossing? Because this was now expected, right? So this was from March until October. That is 7 months. When France hit top grossing, we ended up getting 30 Dragonstones, right? That has been the last 7 months. I just don't think Global was gonna keep this forever, but because the 7-stone, once again, the 7-stone per country rule still is the only standing rule, and then they've been kind of playing around with this 30 Dragonstones with France hitting it. France hit top grossing, and a few other countries hit top grossing here, but it wasn't enough for the 7 Dragonstones because it wasn't a bunch of countries hitting both, except for France, hitting both stores. So I don't think they were just going to give us 7 Dragonstones, but that's what we earned. We really earned 7 Dragonstones on this campaign here, but we didn't get it. Maybe they're saying, well, because we've been giving 30 Dragonstones, 50 Dragonstones, and all these things, when we're not following our own rules, you know, they kind of wrote themselves into a corner here, and that's why there's a lot of confusion and a lot of criticism. But once again, we're not required to get these. These are just something that is something that they've been providing in a different space, in a different rule set. This one here, once again, 4 regions, and the word or applies here. This was France, Hong Kong, Luxembourg, and Portugal. This is the first time they gave 50 Dragonstones that the US wasn't involved, right? So the US wasn't involved in this one here. So this was 50 Dragonstones there, and now here we are right now in the Full of Wonders Merry Christmas campaign, right? Full of Wonders Merry Christmas campaign. Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken. But if you guys remember the past Christmas, we really didn't get any Dragonstones. So we, in a sense, we hit, you know, top grossing in several countries, but not necessarily on both, right? But like I said, you know, a lot of confusion with these or Google Play, the or on here, and a lot of discussion talked about, you know, do they just have these preset and they're just going to give us 30 Dragonstones if anybody hits top grossing? Possibly, I don't know. I just only know that one rule applies, but we didn't get top grossing here, and we ended up actually getting top grossing for France, Hong Kong, and Luxembourg for the LR Kalen Khalifa, right? And the vitriol and the confusion really is like, okay, why didn't we get it for this, but we end up getting for this, is because either they have it preset and they're just going to give us top grossing when it's available. And in this case scenario, maybe it wasn't available, even though unless we would have hit, you know, top grossing on a bunch of different countries, on multiple different countries on both stores. But as far as I know, France hit both stores here and France hit both stores here, and we end up getting 30 Dragon Stones. So we qualify for 14 Dragon Stones using the 7 stone rule, but we end up getting 30. But a lot of people are, like I said, confused on this whole 30 stones here, because in this case, the last 9 months, they've been giving 30 Dragon Stones just for France hitting top grossing, right? So, and I don't know if they're going to continue to do that, right? What they need to do is they need to set up rules so that we will understand it more clearly, so there's no confusion and there's no criticism and there's no vitriol in the community saying, where's this, because that's where they've created some sort of level of expectation where the only standing rule, we didn't qualify. So in the 9 months, guys, we had not qualified for the original standing rule of 7 stones per country, and they just ended up just throwing out 30 Dragon Stones for a bunch of different campaigns, and that means a decline in revenues, right? Decline in revenues. So as a business, you know, they're gonna have to support us in a different way to kind of get more hype in a different way, and possibly it's Dragon Stones, possibly things of that nature. So let's do a quick recap. This is a long video here, almost 27 minutes here. So the recap is the rules stated in top grossing rewards ever since 2016 to present day: 7 Dragon Stones for every new country hitting either store, right? iOS or Google Play. 7 Dragon Stones each country hitting #1 on iOS and on Google Play simultaneously. I think they did away with this whole simultaneously thing because not too many countries are hitting that now for a almost 4.5-year-old game. Changes not stated but randomly implemented. So like I said before, in September they ended up doing 50 Dragon Stones for top grossing rewards, reaching 7 regions. Vague. I don't know if it was on both stores. It was just, here's 50 Dragon Stones. November 2018, the first time they ever gave 30 Dragon Stones for not qualifying for the 7 stones per country. It was just France and another country, and we ended up getting 30 Dragon Stones. That was the full power Super Saiyan for Goku, and US was not involved. February, giving out top grossing rewards with countries, I spelled that wrong, hitting #1 on iOS or Google Play. It was the first time "or" actually was stated on there, and you saw that a few more times with like Dual Dokkan Fest and things of that nature, hitting like 4 to 10 regions, but no official announcement for that change, right? This was a random, hey, this is what we're gonna do for this campaign here. And then March till present day, 30 Dragon Stones for top grossing, even though we did not qualify for 7 stones per country. If the US was not involved, and this is once again randomly, there's 2 banners that ended up not getting any kind of rewards, and then 50 Dragon Stones for 7 regions if the US was involved here. So that was that, except for for 7 regions, I think, except for Zamasu and for Murzumasu and Trunks. So anyway, so all in all, the 7 stone rule still applies on global. It's just that we haven't hit top grossing on both stores in several countries in quite some time. Thus, this whole 30 and 50 stone in the past months has been, in a sense, implemented, but not a rule, right? Not a rule. And it's not stated as a rule. It's just something that we've been seeing and people are getting used to, and then now people are getting mad because they're not providing that. But once again, going back into history, Christmas has not been good for free Dragon Stones, right? 5 Dragon Stones was the first Christmas for Ireland hitting that, and then last year we didn't get top grossing for hit. In 2020, here's what they need to do. Bandai and Kosuke needs to clarify the rules. What is the rules? Because on JP it is clear. It's very easy. 30 Dragon Stones when they hit 1 store, 100 Dragon Stones when they hit the second store. That's it. 30, 100. I think I put 50 on my previous video, but it's 30, 100, 30, 100, 30, 100. And it's 1 country. It's easy to track. Boom. If they hit it, they hit it. If they don't, they don't. And they recently hit top grossing on this New Year's campaign where they haven't hit it in the past like 3 months really quickly. because they only have to track one country. Very different countries, very different time zones, hundreds of different countries here. We know France is going to hit it, right? So they just check mark France there. And if they were going to give us 30 Dragonstones, if France were to hit it, we would get it right away. But I think they're randomly doing this, right? And just because the 7-stone rule still applies, but we have not qualified for a long time. So take it as it is. You guys know my opinion on the 7 Dragonstone rule and what we qualify for and what we actually get. I'm happy of getting it. Some people aren't, and hey, that's okay. You guys do you, I'll do me. And hopefully this will provide you guys some clarity. This is a long video. It's a 30-minute video on the history of the top grossing ever since 2016 to present. Anyway, hopefully it was informative. If you're new to my channel, like, subscribe, comment below, do all that good stuff. Thank you for watching. Keep on Dokkaning. We'll catch you next time. Later.